Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, and I'm joined today by attorney Cesar Gavidia. And the disability benefit tip we want to discuss today is your disability insurance policy may be governed by ERISA. And Cesar, you've handled thousands of ERISA disability insurance claims. And why would someone's policy be governed by ERISA, and what is ERISA?
So it's pretty simple. It's if your disability insurance or your employee benefits are through an employer or through your employment, it's going to be governed by this federal law called ERISA. All right, and there's certain rules that apply, and there's certain things that go on specific to that, but that's basically the gist of it. Is if it's through your employer, it's going to be governed by this federal law.
Okay, and then there's a distinction between other policies that may not be governed by ERISA, and what is usually some of the things that people need to be aware of?
So when it's not governed by ERISA, there's certain requirements and certain steps you need to take. If, for example, there's an adverse decision or denial of benefits that occurs with your ERISA disability claim. In other words, there's this requirement that you exhaust your appeals that the insurance company is going to be informing you about in their denial letter. And that's a requirement under ERISA. And if you don't do that, then you're going to be precluded or prevented from filing a lawsuit later if you want to continue challenging the insurance company's denial of benefits. And private disability claims or individual disability claims, that's not something that's applicable where you have to exhaust this administrative review. And it's time consuming. I mean, it takes a lot of time to really do these appeals and to get a decision by the insurance company. Before you exhaust all your administrative remedies under ERISA, it could be up to a year.
And this ERISA law, not only in appeals, but has all of these regulations that apply to requirements that the disability insurance company has to comply with. Number one, just to even sell a particular policy, and then there's rules and regulations for applying for coverage at the disability company. It's very structured, not necessarily pro-claimant, more geared in favor of the insurance company, whereas the individual policies that aren't ERISA are breach of contract actions, and it's just more of this, there are insurance laws, but it's more of acting reasonable and in good faith, which is different than the statutory remedies of ERISA. And I guess the important thing here is that somebody needs to know up front, is it ERISA or is it not? Because it's going to change the way in which you go about handling the claim.
Yeah.
And then also, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously obvious to us, but the way in which what your remedies are going to be in the event your claim gets denied are drastically different.
And not only that, I mean, just in the context, and the tip here is that if your claim is governed by ERISA and you request that administrative claim file from the insurance company, they are required to provide it to you. In fact, there's fines if they don't provide it to you. In an individual case, that's not the case. In order to get that file, you need to get a subpoena, and you basically have to go through a lawsuit.
So there's pros and cons to ERISA. The point is you need to know up front, and that's what we want to say. And if someone were to call us and want to discuss their claim, one of the first things we want to know is who gave you the policy? Did you buy it on your own? Did you get it from an employer? Were you part of a group? Because there's lots of different ways to get the policies. But we do have other videos where we talk about is a private policy better than an ERISA policy, which someone can look that up, as well as all different kinds of strategies for ERISA-governed disability claims. So no matter where you live in the country, feel free to contact Cesar or myself. We're always going to provide you with a free initial consultation. We'll answer all of your questions and let you know right away how we think we can help you no matter what's going on with your disability claim. We look forward to the opportunity to speak with you.